So here we are at last, attempting our assault on the Aery, having no other choice as to how to stop Nidhogg from raising Ishgard to the ground. English is hard. And dude, the guy's right behind us. Dude, evasive action, something, anything. Well, he sure as hell wasted no time coming after our asses. I'm guessing the Mana Cutter did work, and it did get us in here. Nice work, Estinian. So by the looks of it, I'm guessing Estinian's baiting him. By the way, did they ever teach us how to drive these things? I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, but at the same time, do I have a pilot's license for this? Alright, so here we go. Into the villain's lair himself. Itself, whatever, English is hard right now, I'm sorry. But yes, it's kind of interesting that, well, technically we did it with like the Praetorium and stuff like that. But we don't have an army to back us. It is just two of us, albeit incredibly skilled people, forming an assault on a fucking dragon. Okay, and not just any dragon. This isn't some of his like lesser kindred. This is one of the 7 children of Midgard-Solmr. Okay, he is powerful as fuck. Alright, couple Legatuses have absolutely nothing on this guy. Absolutely nothing. And I can tell the tank did not check my gear. I absolutely hate when they do that. Well, at least he popped Vengeance. Okay, I'll give him that. I absolutely hate when they do this. Tanks, please check your healer's gear before you come in here. Unfortunately, without literally running over and over, more and more, I literally can't get any better gear than this because even the high quality stuff is still weaker than what you can get in the dungeons. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage here. But it's not because I'm lazy, it's because literally I have no choice. You saw how, I mean, it took me 4 things of fucking Somal to even get a couple things of gear. Actually, I need to eat my food. Okay, pop a different cooldown. Like, seriously. Vengeance is not your only one. Ugh, sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate on having a heal here. But yeah, this is why you don't. I need to eat my food. Here we go. So I can get more experience. Okay, I kind of lagged there for half a second. But yes, if your healer has to spam cures non-stop in order to keep you alive, you're not doing your job as a tank. Just saying. But enough of that ranting. So yeah, let's just look at the architecture of this place. Somehow, I don't think the dragons built this. I mean, dragons don't have thumbs for one, but this clearly looks like man-made stone. Look at the symmetrical patterns on the floor. I mean, forgive me, I'm not trying to insult the dragon's intelligence here or anything of the like, but at the same time, something tells me they wouldn't be this meticulous about, you know, their architecture and where they live. So, that kind of, at least to me, heavily implies that once upon a time, that man built this place. And he is living in here. Despite his disdain for them. Little hypocritical of much, Nidhogg? Maybe? I mean, you can clearly see there is, like, some damage to this place. You know, like the floor is wrecked and all that good crap. And we have electrostatic stuff attacking us along the way, which only actually happens in this first segment of the dungeon, by the way, which is weird. Now, part of me wonders, is this his magics at play, or like directly, or is it a kind of a result of just the weather effects up here in general and consequence of the tempest he has wound around it, where it's not entirely intentional, but obviously still works in his favor. I don't know. I never really thought about that till now. But yeah, this place, at least up until this point, definitely has a lightning motif to it, as we can see with this guy, who is very up. I don't know. Maybe it's actually this guy who's creating the electrostatic attacks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if maybe in the lore book they ever make that any sort of, or in live letter ever make that any sort of clear. That's an interesting thought right now. What is the source of that electricity? Ah. Yeah, I love how actually these, I think this is the first time we've actually seen a dragon of this, like, there are a couple bosses in the Churning Mist that are this dragon type, but basically, these guys are pretty much, so skilled in their manipulation of wind aether that they don't need wings to fly. It's just entirely manipulation of aether, which I find, kind of cool, actually. You know, I'm going to spam Medica 2 here. I hate those stupid ads. Like, I always miss them as a tank. Because usually they're, like, way the fuck over there, and if the tank is the one who gets the, spray, it's kind of annoying. So it's like, yeah, sorry, DPS and healers, you have to deal with this dragon on your own, while I try not to get killed. Again? Oh my god, he really likes giving me the fucking heavy today, doesn't he? What a jerk. But yeah, this is the whole fight. He just freaking electrocutes us to death. Constantly. Over and over and over again. But I actually do like we have donut-shaped AoEs here. And that he knocks you out only for you to have to get back in. I kind of like mechanics like that, you know, they actually require you to possibly, you know, stop DPSing for a moment and think about what the hell you're doing. That like, nah, I don't need to handle mechanics. I am needing that. Now I want to go in my inventory and equip that. Okay. I'm glad I got one piece of equipment. That's good. That's good. So yeah, now we have a part of this lair which I don't know if I can explain this, because again, I'm literally making stuff as I go along up here. Like a friend of mine is actually helping me with this dungeon, and we had planned on this date, and I actually didn't think about what the hell I was going to say during this episode at all, so I'm literally just making shit up as I go. But yeah, why is this place, now that we've delved further into it, more of a fire motif? Like, what is the source of this fire? Like, it looks like it's fucking Somal. Like, the heart of it. I don't know if I can explain this one. This is just getting kind of weird for me. Again, these are things I just never really thought about, and I'm only thinking about them now because I'm just kind of reaching for things to talk about right here. Because I've already kind of, you know, gone into a lot of the character pieces and whatnot, and granted there is a lot I have to say about Nidhogg, but because a lot of it is spoilers, for scenes that haven't happened yet, and some of which are in future patches, I kind of have to refrain from that sort of explanation, at least for the time being, at risk of, you know, both accidentally spoiling and making myself sound like a tool for things I can't mention. But I guess I kind of make myself sound like a tool anyway by virtue of recording these, so yeah, tank, you might want to overpower these more. Yeah, I have fucking aggro. Yeah, I only holy twice. I'm not even under divine seal. Thank you. That's a little bit better. It's not like you're in deliverance over here. Alright. And speaking of which, most tanks I'm appreciative of, but eventually when you heal long enough, you will get pissed off at tanks for the stupidest things. Even though they're things all tanks are guilty of, but... So we kind of skipped this, but these actually, these broodlings actually give a cry when they die, and if these slumbering dragons are in the in range of it, they don't pull them so far. You're gonna line of sight my regen. They will actually wake up and come after you. I mean, come on, no, get in my bubble, get in my bubble. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now turn around because you got raw intuition up. Thank you. Thank you! I wasn't expecting him to go that far, because he didn't need to pull these that far out of range. Obviously, you can attack the dragons yourself, but they're just a pain in the ass, and they're not worth the experience to usually kill, so. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that these are Nidhogg broodlings, so... and it's never actually explained, because obviously dragons are hatched from eggs, how long the incubation period is. So, how long ago did he spawn these guys? Because despite the fact that the great worms are, you know, old as shit, they're not like people in that, you know, eventually they lose their reproductive years. They can literally reproduce as long as they want. Which leads to the question of, like, how many direct descendants do these guys have? And I mean, like, first generation descendants, not, you know, descendants of their descendants of their descendants and whatnot. Which begs the question is, how far down the line is his waifu? Because obviously she is not one of the 7 children. Granted, we kind of don't know that yet, but considering how easily we slew her, it was kind of semi-obvious that was pretty much the case anyway, so that's technically not a spoiler or anything like that. So yeah, or even was she one of his? I mean, I would kind of assume, considering, you know, she was black. You know what? Is that ever mentioned in the lore book either? I don't know. I actually haven't still read the thing cover to cover yet. I've only looked at things that are of immediate interest to me. Sorry. I know I'm a terrible researcher. Absolutely. But then again, you know, my whole thing is more general plot and character development rather than the world building stuff. Because that's just how I roll. That's what I just find more interesting. At least when it comes to, you know, my thoughts and whatnot. So, this guy, even though we kind of just emerged from, I guess, a fire theme god, this guy is obviously poison themed. Again, not sure what to say about that, but I guess it's as good as a motif as any. Which actually kind of begs the question, a little bit. You know, I totally forgot until right this second that I have fucking a size. I forgot I'm synced to 56 in here, not 55. I am a terrible white mage. Kill me now. Holy shit, I've been waiting so long to use this skill, and I totally fucking forgot I have it. I am absolutely terrible, guys. Absolutely terrible. Make fun of me in the comments. It's okay. Totally okay. Alright, so what was I talking about? I do not know for sure if Nidhogg has his own kind of elemental affinity, because while we in a way technically don't know it yet, but it's also technically not a spoiler because it is in the Japanese. Hraesvelgar is a holy dragon. It's actually what Istanin refers to him as. So even though it's not utterly made clear in the English version, it is sort of half implied, I guess, by the fact that, you know, he is white, but considering in the Japanese he is called Holy Dragon, that is pretty obvious, because I don't think Nidhogg is, why do I keep saying Nidhogg and not Estinian? Oh my god, I am terrible. This is probably the result of me talking out my ass and the fact that I'm in Nidhogg's lair, but whatever. yeah, Estinian would not see Heivensward as any sort of holy in any other context of the word. You know, as in divine. So yeah, it's only kind of natural. I mean, I guess it's kind of implied that, you know, darkness, I guess, but that's not really, doesn't align with the whole 6 elements crap, and who knows, I don't know. Maybe he is supposed to be more, given the motif of this place, more lightning based or something. I don't know. I don't even know if that's actually true. I'm just talking to my ass. Again, I am just totally just looking for excuses to spew something, anything, whatever. Now the question is, can I see it from here? Because there's something I want to comment on, and I don't know if it's visible from my immediate perspective. Okay, so where is it? I think it might be at the top here. I know. Aw, damn, no equipment. Come on. There we go, right here. This right here, you might recognize as Alagon in origin, and it was later stated by the devs that this is a piece of Dalamud that somehow ended up in his lair. It's one of the furthest traveling pieces as a result of Dalamud's crash. Which I find kind of interesting that it's just sitting here. Oh, thank God you popped vengeance. Note to the wise tank, these Avises hit like motherfucking trucks, despite the fact that there's only 3 mobs in here. This is the hardest hitting trash pull in the entire dungeon. So for the love of crap, please pop your cooldowns here, please. Yeah, they hit like motherfucking trucks. I have lost many a tank here because of lack of popping cooldowns. And them dancing around like idiots so they can't parry anything, resulting in them taking further damage. Everything's okay. Don't chain pull like that. MPs. I know I'm high right now, but I won't be in like 30 seconds because I'm gonna hold the shit out of these things. So yeah, I don't really understand the purpose of these kind of portally pod thingies that these dragons are like waiting in. I don't think that's ever explained what the hell those things are and what the hell the dragons are doing there. Is it some kind of like teleporter or something like that? They can just come to Nidhogg's aid or whatever? Yeah, you can see up on the handicap accessible ramp behind us, there is a large corrupted crystal, one of many in the place, and it's actually blocking our path forward. Alright, come on, bring out the big guns already. Psst, tank equilibrium, if you haven't already popped it yet. Man, I'm being so damn mean to this tank, I'm sorry. But again, I literally do this to everybody. I'm like internally, I always yell at everybody. Everybody in the party who's not playing perfect. Yeah, I even make fun of myself. Alright. Time to die, you fuckers. So yeah, that corrupted crystal is no longer in our way. But yeah, they're like giant, like egg, like, I don't know what the hell those things are. But yeah, now this place is definitely fucking man-made. Because, like, seriously, why the hell would a dragon need a fucking handicap accessible ramp? Now, here's one thing I actually really like about this dungeon, even though I don't really like running it in general, is both in the beginning and the boss cutscene, is Dinian, who is with us, is present in the cutscenes. Okay, y'all don't need to mark him. I know what to do. Alright, we're gonna restone skin everybody. So, I kind of don't like this room because this room is too huge. I understand why, because as you can see, Nidhogg's hitbox is kind of massive, so I cannot understand. So, Estinian, we actually have to protect. If you can see, he does have a vulnerability stack. If you just like stone skin or regen him, he will be fine as long as number one, the tank doesn't, you know, kind of point Nidhogg in his direction, and the battle doesn't go on excessively long. He'll otherwise be fine. If he does die, you end the battle is over. Nidhogg will kill you. Which leads to the question, and one thing I always was really curious about, even though it has been mentioned to this beforehand, including right before we started this quest, why does Nidhogg's own eye weaken him? I never really understood that. And I'm guessing it's some blah 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 bullshit that, you know, the eyes are a sort of aether and whatnot, and the worm's longevity and whatnot. We learned about this, and that's why Thornton and Co. Killed Ratatoska for her eyes and everything like that. But I'm wondering if they're just like a generic aether energy field, and it does not matter who the quote-unquote owner is, that it affords protection from, you know, all outside sources, regardless of its own origin. Now, obviously, I'm just absolutely BSing there, and just making that up, but honestly, I have absolutely no better idea why this weakens him, other than the fact that they just tell us it does. That's actually what the debuff he currently has on right now. So yeah, Estinian's taking a little damage here, only because of the Deafening Bellow, which is Nidhogg's AoE. So thankfully everyone actually was pretty good here, including the Summoner, who is ranged, thank God. One of the problems with this fight is that because the room is so huge, the range can literally stand almost anywhere and still hit him. However, they may not be in the healer's range, because the healer needs to be pretty much right on his ass to make sure they hit the tank. Even though, kind of hint hint, and I'm not blaming tanks for this whatsoever, that tanks, you don't have to stand on the edge of an enemy's hitbox. You can literally stand almost to the halfway point inside and still keep him facing you. And that will kind of close the gap a little bit between you and the rest of the party, which is kind of helpful in battles such as this, where you have the enemy have such a massive hitbox. Plus with frontal cones, it helps with dodging because you don't have to go as far. Just minor tidbit there. Where the hell was I going with this? Oh my god. I have entirely lost my train of thought here. Estinian, he'll be fine. Most of these dragons will only attack Estinian, by the way. Only like the last two will can actually truly be tank. But yeah, we have to defeat his minions so Nidhogg can make this shield from his eye to protect us. Again, how this works? No fucking idea. Absolutely no fucking idea, or how Nidhogg knows how to use this. Absolutely, I got nothing. I really got nothing. Besides the fact that it's just... Oh, would you pop a cooldown, please? He's just generally here. He's not actively participating in battle, but they actually gave him an excusable... See, the tank didn't get my Medica 2 there. There's actually an excusable reason why he's not actively engaging in the combat here. It's quite literally because... I just kind of almost stood in that. Yeah, he's protecting us. So one thing of note here is Nidhogg actually doesn't go to 0 HP. He will automatically, this battle will automatically end when he hits about 4. Now he's gonna fly off. What a fucking coward. I'm not done with you yet, asshole. I am totally not done with you. Okay, so nothing else for me. Yeah, I guess I'll give the tank my comm because he's the only one left. Ugh. Kind of sucks I didn't get it. So yeah, obviously there is going to be a cutscene right here, which I am going to play. Because they learned from their mistakes in Praetorium about having lengthy story-length cutscenes in the middle of a party while everyone else waits for you. Dude, I can see you coming from a mile away. This is hardly ambush-worthy, and you know Estinian has the eye, okay? You know he's gonna do this. Are you dumb? Well, that was terribly effective. I'd like Dragon Spit not to be in my face, okay, thanks. Oh, like your little genocide is any better? Pot, meet kettle.
No worm. This ends here.
Get him, Estinian. Come on. So yeah, they entirely like gloss over the fact in the main story that the Dragoon job quest line actually involves Estinian actually becoming temporarily possessed by Nidhogg and coming after you, and you are able to fight him and free him from Nidhogg's influence and whatnot, and after which he stays a good guy and all that crap because he just possessed in the first place. But I don't like how the main story doesn't actually have a side bit, tidbit explaining that, both to refresh the players who did do the Dragoon side quests ages ago and those who haven't done them. That's something a bit major that they kind of left out. Well, Estinian, you were kind of right about your armor being stained crimson. Well, that was overly simple. Huh. Apparently Nidhogg has two different color eyes.
You gifted my people 1,000 years of suffering. Now I gift you an eternity in darkness.
Oh, time for another Hollywood heart attack, guys. So we have another crystal back. And I guess since it's a lightning crystal, it kind of supports my half-ass made-up on-the-spot theory that Nidhogg may be kind of lightning expected, I guess. I don't know, I'm just pulling that out of my ass. You know, Midgard Stormer, we just killed one of your sons. Do you have nothing to say about this? Ooh, it's Echo flashback time. Ooh.
They are ours, Lord Eldrath. The eyes of Nidhogg.
Hold on a second here.
Aye. The worm lies broken and my father is avenged. With the wellspring of his vitality thus denied him, Nidhogg shall not linger long in this world.
You bastards didn't even make sure he was dead. What the fuck?
But behold the terrible price we have paid. My sire is dead. So many brother knights slain. We traded our honor for the strength which now courses in our veins. And still we are forced to make such sacrifice.
Yeah, that's life.
But not in vain, my lord. Hraesvelgr is the only great worm left in Dravania, and he dares not leave his lair. With Nidhogg's eyes in your possession, who now can challenge the might of Ishgard, ascend the throne, and take your rightful place as the ruler of our people?
Nay, my friend. I must forsake the mantle of king. Though Nidhogg be defeated, his wormling horde yet darkens the skies with wings beyond counting. As one who partook of Ratatoska's strength, It shall be my penance to bear a knight's arms until death grants me leave to retire. When that day comes, no prince shall perish, but a hell's-bound hunter of dragons.
But Lord Haldreth, what then shall become of the royal line?
Think of your people, my lord. Without a king, who will the common man turn to in his hour of need? How will he find his way without your benevolent hand to guide him?
Benevolent? Benevolent? Okay, you guys just straight up murdered one of the Great Worms and nearly just murdered another? Benevolent? Are you fucking kidding me?
I thank you, Sir Flavian and Sir Silvertrill, for dispelling my remaining doubts. With men of such wisdom and compassion in service to the realm, 'tis plain that Ishgard has no need of a king. But if you must bow to the demands of tradition, you need look no further than yourselves for one worthy to wear the crown. Fare thee well, my brother knights, my loyal friends. On these shoulders shall I bear the weight of my father's sins. With this lance shall I repay the debt accrued through our misdeeds.
You are still aware you have both his eyes, kind of shoved up your butthole right now?
What cruel jest has fate played upon us? Have we seized this desperate victory only to lose a king?
We can but act as our lord has bid. We few who remain must divide between us the rulership of Ishgard and her people.
Not I. My oath was to Lord Haldreth and he alone. If he is not to be king, then I would hang up my shield as well.
Will you abandon us too, sir?
I would wash my hands of blood and betrayal and take up an honest trade. Mayhap I shall serve ale instead of sharpened steel.
And maybe you shall open a bar that will stand for 1,000 years. And pass on the tradition of knighthood to a bartender. And eventually, your bar will employ a tiny Lullafell. Mayhap.
We four, then.
Forton, Hylanat, Dyrendare, and Zemail. But 4 houses to rule all of Ishgard.
And what of the throne?
We keep it empty. Until the day a king rises once more, we must assume the role of stewards. We shall shape our nation anew with a history of our own making, and let the truth of this dark day die here, upon the battlefield.
You lying sons of bitches! So yeah, I never quite understood why they have to loudly announce their names. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. You notice they kind of look exactly like their descendants, right? Well, there's no point to tell us that.
What ails you, friend?
If you're gonna loudly proclaim your names, we know who these people are. Yeah, hi, Estinian. Sorry, just having a Hollywood heart attack. I'm okay now.
You have borne witness to history. To the culmination of the first battle with Nidhogg.
Yeah, and we notice kind of a little inconsistency with the story here.
The legend of Ishgard's founding tells that our ancestors were led to the land of Kurthus by the valiant King Thordan. In the midst of their journey, they came to a wide chasm, where they were set upon by a great worm, Nidhogg. A furious battle then ensued, with Thordan leading the van. Though the brave king was slain defending his people, his son, Haldrath, the first Azure Dragoon, fought on undaunted. And with a mighty thrust of his lance, he gouged out Nidhogg's eye, forcing the wicked creature into retreat. Thus, did this eldritch orb become a sacred treasure of Ishgard, lending its power to every knight deemed worthy to bear the title of Azure Dragoon. A rousing tale, is it not? Would that I could still believe it. But your vision, which we must accept as immutable truth, leaves no room for doubt, save on one point. If Haldrath took both of Nidhogg's eyes, then how came this eye to be lodged in the worm's skull?
Gee, I wonder if it's related to a plot point that I have very deliberately not addressed, and neither has anybody in the story.
Beneath every answer we unearth, another question lies buried.
Well, the sky's looking a little more friendly now, but I think that's just due to by virtue of what the weather is right now in the churning mist, rather than by any story contradiction.
'Twas a fierce battle, but one I knew we would win. Your fame is well deserved, warrior of light. Full proud am I to have fought at your side.
Brofist?
I would fain return with all swiftness to Ishgard to inform the Lord Commander of our triumph.
Let's call him then.
But we must first have words with Hreysvelgr. There are parts of this tale that the worm has kept from us, and I would know wherefore.
Hooray! Oh, goody. Finally done. So, yeah, what else did we learn here today, guys? Dude, take it off. I'm sure you have some padding or something underneath there. Jeez. Like, come on. We're like four brothers, like, forged in blood, quite literally right now. I don't give a shit if you get naked in front of me. I mean, I already shipped you with somebody else, so I'm not going to be hitting on you or anything, but jeez. Jeez, we probably need to take a peek. You know, we probably stink really horribly. Is there a lake around here we can just start bathing in or something? Because, damn, whoo! I don't think Sid and Biggs and Wedge are going to, you know, enjoy the stench of dragon's blood and sweat and tears inside their mana cutters. Where are the fucking mana cutters anyway? No, seriously, what do we do with them? I mean, they're not exactly important right now to the story, but, like, are we going to fly them back to visit Hreysvelgr, or are we just going to walk like the old-fashioned way? Maybe? Something? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Again, it's not something really important, but it's just a minor thing that's kind of noticeable. So this episode has gone on long enough, so we are going to hold off on exploring this little inconsistency in the story and our little talk with Hreysvelgr later. So, yeah, because there is some shit we need to call him on. So, thank you for watching, friend, and have a nice day.